Good, terrific Tuesday morning, Goddess, for this Twin Flame Tuesday. My name is Rachelle Richard, and welcome to my channel here at Empowerment Experiences. We are all looking for and finding our power all along this, which is our self-love empowerment journeys. And the majority of us are on an extremely, intensely, excruciating healing twin flames journey. There are those who may have heard my counterpart went forward with the pressures of his society and fully surrendered his power to his parents and caved to their demands of forced marriage to a woman of their choosing. Imagine having little to zero say over who you marry. That your parents and society have that control for you. That you don't get to marry who you want to be with. You have to be with who you don't want to be with. You have to be with the one someone else picked for you. It'd be like I'm being presented and I just caught 111, and I'm seeing that right now. Big time. 111. Thoughts. It's as though you're being given an option of Brussels sprouts or a cupcake. And of course you want the cupcake. I mean, it can be gluten-free and everything, right? Because I've had some pretty darn good gluten-free cupcakes, let me tell you. You don't even realize. I'm like gluten-free equals guilt-free to me. Thank you. It does not hurt my tummy. But what happens is you want the cupcake, but the other person says, no, you have to have this because it's for your own good. You have to have Brussels sprouts because it's for your health. Isn't that ironic in a certain way, but not? That yes, and I see where this has taken me in this moment of describing this. And there was 222, which has been even bigger than the 111 lately in my journey. 222 is keep the faith. But you see, yes, the Brussels sprouts are for our health. They are the real mind food, the real learning, where the real nutrition lies. It's not in the cupcake, even though the cupcake is what we want. The dessert is what we want. It's the sweet treat, but we can't have the sweet treat without the learning. We can't have the happy ending without the trials and tribulations to get there. We still are in the third dimension, goddesses, and this means we will still very, 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 very much experience the duality of this realm. The Brussels sprouts and the cupcakes. Now, I'm going to sit here. I do have to point out that I actually love Brussels sprouts personally, but that's usually where we go. Or if we use the example from Inside Out, it's broccoli. I love broccoli too. I've always loved broccoli. Broccoli, even as a child, broccoli was never one of those things I was like, ew, gross. But Brussels sprouts, only until high school, actually. I digress, though. I know for me, I've needed this message, especially on this twin flame journey, goddess. As my divine counterpart has chosen this karmic path. Because why? The karmic path are the Brussels sprouts. The karmic path is the path of the deepest learning, of the most intense and most nutritious servings in our lives. Those are the things that sustain us, that build us, that strengthen us, so that when we have that sweet, that we are in the best place, in the best shape, we feel good, we're in the best health, we're in the best mental health, the best physical health, the best spiritual health, the best emotional health, while we're eating that cupcake being representative of what it is you desire. And holy moly, I know for me, I needed this message today. Excuse me. I don't remember years and years and years since I've ever had a persistent cough. And this persistent cough actually started almost 2 weeks ago when I first got told that India lied about lifting the visa suspensions. And then this week, it really ramped up with the persistent cough. It's just a dry cough. And I know it's also correlated to the dry, compounded with the allergies that we have right now in the Phoenix Valley. But even with my allergies, this cough, and the cough is actually indicative. It's a soul message for feeling as though I am unable to express myself fully, right? And this is the way that I am able to at least express the emotions that are pent up inside right now, that the things that are only coming out this way, because believe me, I've been purging things. But that's what this is, Goddess. And look, we have the number 717 is facing up on this bag, and I didn't even. But that said, Goddess, this excruciating time, right, where it feels like we are being ripped apart and it feels like our entire lives are crumbling, especially our twin flame connection. We feel as though it is utterly hopeless. You feel absolute and total defeat. Why? Because this is testing your faith and knowing in your connection to really truly be willing to let go, to not give up, but to let go by recognizing that, again, this is the Brussels sprouts time. This is the time where we have to focus on the nutrition, focus on the learning, the health of ourselves in this space of all of these lessons that are being brought towards us, because we are needing to focus on that self-love. We are needing to give our attention to ourselves, as has been coming up with the construction and the vehicle and they are working on it. But that's the thing, is what we tend to do is we get caught up in how it looks now, and we keep focusing on how it looks. And even I can admit, over these last 2 years, it has been so challenging. And believe me, there's a huge part of me that feels as though I am partly to blame for this. But it's like, wait a minute. I'm going to take my responsibility where it is, in the sense of, yeah, I wasn't totally aligning with this. The doubt was there. I wasn't fully embodying this because I kept looking at how the world is rather than how I wanted it to be. And as a result, here we are. The world still is how it is rather than how I'd like it to be. And anytime this happens, it's for us being tested in our faith. It's amazing how the ego will take something and can create such a tiny little bubble for yourself to say that the world's over. It's all over. It's ended. There's no hope now. We'll never be together. When in actuality, please. In this world, marriage doesn't mean anything, especially in the 3D world. Marriage really doesn't mean shit. It's all and especially when it's a forced one, it's an ego karmic lesson. It means something by way of the lesson that you're being presented with. And my divine masculine, I know for certain he needs everything that this is going to teach him. I know this. Does it hurt any less? No, God, no. Fuck no. However, it is the bridge from powerless to powerful. In realizing that, again, I don't have power over the choice that he's made. I only have choice. I only have power over the choice of how I respond to it. Now, obviously, in the beginning, triggers and reactions were happening. And I'm not going to deny that we definitely still experience a few of those. However, bit by bit, it's coming out on the other side of it. And again, realize, excuse me, oof, throat chakra big time right now. But realizing that everything that is happening for us. Because right now, as I'm hearing some of the things that even I am saying that's coming up from all of this, processing and purging and transmuting that victim mentality, that abandonment wound, all these traumas. I wouldn't want all of this in my relationship with my DM. I wouldn't. And I know he's got some hella shit that his karmic, because I wouldn't call her wife. It was just a religious ceremony. And like he always said, it's not legal. It's just the tradition thing that they do. It's like the ritual, in the sense of being detached, going through the motions. That's what this is. And it's so indicative of how humanity has become, of just going through the motions. And that's what we're being asked to break free from. And that's why it's so excruciating, this releasing attachments, because that is what's happening right now in this. See, anytime I talk about my divine masculine and this situation here, I have coughs. It's because we're not able to be fully expressed right now. And I'm feeling that in my energetic being, is that my twin flame connection, we have, it appears as though our connection has been completely snuffed out, been stifled, and not allowed to be its fullest expression, right? And that is, again, the coughing right now. So, right now, where we are is, I know for me, in a place I never wanted to be. However, I was always very aware that this was a highly probable timeline. Highly probable. Most likely. Especially with I had to take a moment there and go figure out what was going on with my cat, because she, of course, makes certain sounds for certain things. And this was the sound that's like, okay, something is going on and mom needs to go see. And there is a guest in our backyard, and she is letting them know that if she were able to get out of this house, she would go and fuck them up. So, ooh. If we hear her, that's what's going on. Oh my goodness, all of this dryness, and just, again, everything that I know I am processing through, which is very important to be bringing life back into balance. That's what this is. When we end up in a space of feeling like we have been knocked on our fucking ass. And in fact, this actually just came up in my goddess tribe. A goddess was sharing a dream that she had, and when she shared it with me, shared it with the group, and I read it, I was like, oh. And she spoke of, balance and grounding and things like that. And I'm seeing this, or else there was the cliff. There was a cliff. And she almost fell off the cliff, but she balanced herself, was grounded and such. And so that's the point, is that life, there are going to be cliffs, there are going to be drop-offs, sheer fucking drop-offs. And what those drop-offs are is the space where you don't eat your Brussels sprouts, right? You eat only the cupcakes, and you neglect yourself, and you're not paying attention to your thoughts. Again, the 111, thoughts become things. Being intentional about what you're giving attention to. Because when you are taking moment by moment by moment and being intentional about coming back to center and balancing yourself, recalibrating yourself, grounding yourself, because right now you better believe this made my fucking head spin. And I'm not going to deny that I'm certainly not just over it at this point. It's just right now, holy crap, what's coming through with this message today is actually pretty mind-boggling to me, because it's exactly what I know I need to hear. And that's what I say if not every time I do need to hear these messages that come through. But that's the thing, Goddess, is life is going to throw us so many curveballs. And again, there's going to be so many sheer drop-offs that if you're not balanced and centered and recalibrating yourself, and again, focusing that self-love, then you will fall off that cliff. And what that cliff is symbolic of is falling into that abyss of self-loathing, of powerlessness, of hopelessness. And right now, believe me, that cliff is right there. I have been teetering on the edge of it. I am not going to sugarcoat for me. And so I know that you have certainly experienced the same. Or if not, you're about to, right? Because what this is teaching us whenever life knocks us off our feet is it's teaching us to recalibrate. It's teaching us to strengthen those skills. Believe me, even now, my ego's sitting there with her arms crossed going, I don't want to fucking hear this. I like playing the victim. I like saying that the universe is torturing me and traumatizing me and doing this to me. When in actuality, I guess in some way, yeah, but it's mostly through you and from you, because it's about your expansion. It is for your well-being. It is for your growth. It is. It is for your expansion. It is for his expansion. It is for creation's expansion. That we don't get to stay the same. We cannot stay where we are. That no matter what, we are, for the most part, at the mercy of the unfolding of the universe. The place where our power truly is to be found is within ourselves, in the way that we choose to react or respond to what is happening. And it's okay. This is why I said the other day on my story on Instagram, is that right now I am pissed. And you know what? I'm letting myself be pissed, because that is me honoring and processing and purging and releasing that anger by allowing myself to fucking feel it. And I'm so glad I did, because wow. But that's the thing about this balancing act, because that's what it is yes, you want to feel it, but you don't want to move in there. It's okay to hang out there for a few hours, a day or two, or whatever it is. Just don't stay there permanently. That's the key. And that's something that I know for me, I have very much had to learn. And I have clients who come to me and they're afraid to cry. They're afraid to be angry. Oh my God, I'm wrong for crying. I'm wrong for being angry. I'm wrong for all these things. When in actuality, it is the most right thing that you've ever done for yourself, is to allow yourself to be expressed. And this is the other reason why, because again, I know this cough is correlated to lack of self-expression. So you better believe any emotions that want to be expressed when they want to be expressed right now are being expressed. Because I very much recognize, again, what any physically manifested symptom is. I know what it's correlated to. And you do that work on yourself, and believe me, that's one of the best ways to heal yourself, is to recognize that, sure, you can sugarcoat it. You can inject something into your body and think that that's actually going to help you. But if you don't do the actual work on yourself, it does nothing for you. So right now, prosperity is on your way. I'm totally drawing a blank as to this. You see these cards, just all of them flopped over. but prosperity is on the way. Don't tune into the lack of it. Don't focus on the bills that need to be paid. Don't focus on the money going out. And when you do, every dollar I spend comes back times 10. Every dollar I spend comes back times 10. I'm telling you, this works. When I'm doing it and I'm constantly on top of it, holy moly, the return. But when I fall off, I stop doing it, things kind of wane because I'm still, again, those deeper money programs from childhood and such, right? And right now it's realizing that miracles do happen. It's letting yourself believe that miracles happen. Even a big sum of money you would consider a miracle. So as long as you are tuning into this and you are allowing for this expansion, you're allowing for yourself to be recalibrated from, oh my God, it's all being taken away. Oh my God, I'm in lack. Oh my God, I'll never see him again. All of these stories. Instead, I know magic and miracles can happen and cause my life to shift and change in a single moment. I know magic and miracles can happen and cause my life to shift and change in a single moment. That is what miracles usually are, right? They're that very thing that in that moment completely transforms the direction of your life. And so especially for those of us who now officially have divine masculines in karmic contracts. I mean, he's got a lot of them because he's not been facing his fears. He's been succumbing to them. And it's very challenging. It's very challenging, which is why compassion is so necessary right now. Compassion for your counterpart. Forgiveness. Especially in this 3D, because you know what? He is making the best choice that he feels he can, given the circumstances he's in. And we all do that for ourselves. It's what we have to do. Have that compassion for yourself when things hurt and you feel like you want to be angry, but your inner voice is telling you that you can't, or that it's going to block it, or it's going to push him away more. But right now you need to release that, because by holding on to that, that's what's going to push what you desire away, is because you're not allowing that to be released from inside of you. And so that takes root. All the anger and things that are being purged from me, that has it's anger that has still been long pent up. We're getting to deeper and deeper and deeper layers within me, and that's exactly what a twin flame does. Cracks you all the way open to where all of this shit is released. And it can no longer stay hidden away within you, because it does not serve you. So one of these things that will help you with this, that always helps you, again, the grounding. How interesting, oh wow. Balance and nature, which is the grounding card. And we were exactly talking about that, and the dream that the goddess had in the group, talking about balancing and grounding. Because right now, that is where your power is, goddess. I know, oh God, do I know what it is to want to reach out to them and go, please don't, please, oh my God, da. And this whole ego attachment scenario, because that's what it is. It's this whole ego attachment perspective of, this whole ego attachment thing that the ego says, if I lose that, I'm going to die, right? And the reason why I had to do that little excuse me, because I'm going to crop a little bit, is all of a sudden Felt the need to blow my nose, and the coughing just got unbearable there. And it's really to amplify this right here, right? Is that we really truly only have that power over ourselves on how we can maintain and sustain. And all of this is strengthening us for what we've asked for. And I'm here to tell you right now that as you go along this manifestation journey, as you go along this self-love empowerment journey, this twin flame journey, shit doesn't get easier. You get better at handling it. That's the difference. Okay? It does not get easier itself. In fact, from my perspective, the more you level up, the more fucking challenging it gets. It's no different than exactly when you're playing a video game. There's a reason why I have a 4.5-year-old little boy in my life right now who loves to play video games. We have ours that we play. It's called Snow Bros. And we have to go through 9 levels, and then the 10th level we get to the boss stage, and then we go another 9 levels and we get to level 20, and it's the level 20 boss stage. And every level we ascend, that shit gets more and more and more and more intense. However, through every level we ascend, we are growing more wise, more aware, more understanding, more trained, more prepared for all of those boss stages that are coming. So it doesn't get easier. It actually gets more challenging. It's just that you get better at you get better at handling whatever this is. You get better at showing up in your warrior woman mentality, going, nah, shit, I got this, motherfucker. I'm ready for the boss stage. Let's go, team. Right? That's how it is. Right? It is about finding your power to rise and thrive. And again, for me, I see all too clearly with exactly what has unfolded these past 2 weeks, going from 3.5 weeks ago on cloud fucking 9,000 with all these signs in the universe showing me how it's lining everything up and it's got my back and it's gonna fall into place and everything's on track, and boom, for the carpet to be ripped out beneath me. Or the ladder, it felt like the ladder, because I was climbing the ladder and that bitch got knocked over. It's exactly how it feels. Exactly how it feels. However, strengthening me, it's again, all right, it's just a video game, Rachelle. It's what it did. None of this is over. None of this is gone. It's just recalibrating, re-strengthening, because the outcome, it's still there. The end game, it's still there. You just got to go back and do it again and do it again and learn. There's more you got to learn. You got to grow stronger. There's more you got to do. Well, okay. Oh, wow. It's happening for you, not to you, because you need to be cracked all the way open. And that is, again, why you chose the twin flame journey. The twin flame journey, because you have a double mission. It is your soul work of expansion, but it's also your work with uplifting humanity. And for me, I really have to see this. I don't fucking uplift humanity when I fall over that fucking cliff, when I don't maintain my balance and ground myself. And the same is being asked of you, goddess. Wow, right now. This is insane. Good thing I have a gallon. So, but you are here to be a channel, a conduit of love. Even right now, my ego is just like, oh, I don't love anybody. I hate love and da. And I'm like, oh, please, sweetheart. That's just your woundedness talking. Because it's about loving yourself. And for me, my mission on what my twin flame mission is holy moly, it is becoming more and more and more clear why I am in this. It's a trip how this works out. It really is. Wow. Because it is about answering that call within you to expand, to learn, grow, ascend, and expand. Right now, I know it can feel very defeating to say, oh, but my soul is calling me there, but I literally, I can't go. Like literally right now, and for the last almost 2 years, I've not been allowed to just get on a plane and go to him, as he's asked so many times. So I know. See, ooh, and that one hurt. So I know what it is to have to pivot, and you really don't fucking know where to pivot to. That is this journey of looking for and finding your power. That is exactly what that is about, is you looking for and finding your power. So I get it. I get right now, my ego is telling me that as long as I don't dream, the universe can't take away my dreams too. Because right now, remember my landlady quit paying the mortgage, and I don't want to just move somewhere. I had my life figured out, and well, not figured out, but I knew what I wanted to do. I had the vision, and it was lining up so perfectly, it was. And now it's not. And the only place I actually have power is in how I choose to respond to it. And it's very intense. Very intense. So I certainly understand, Goddess. And I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone in this journey. But I promise you, you can still rise and thrive on your twin flame journey, no matter where or what your counterpart is doing or not. Okay? Remember, this is the way it has to be. And it is about us learning how to let go and surrender to the journey. That said, we are all, of course, very intrigued to hear what the Divine Masculine has to say for himself today, this week. I know, especially for me. I mean, I have spent some time, quite a bit of time actually, in solitude over these past couple days. I did my best to disconnect as much as possible, to reconnect. That's exactly why I'm in a much better space today. I'm, again, not going to deny that I'm not still purging through plenty of shit. I mean, he just got married this weekend, so wow. So here we go. From the Divine Masculine. He must do this for his knowledge. Oh, and it's card number 1. This is where his path has to go. It has to. Your Divine Masculine is with a karmic right now. It's because those lessons he needs to learn with her, not with you, sweetheart, not with you. The knowing that he has to be led to can only be done so through the path that he has chosen. The karmic path that he has chosen, that is the path of knowledge. Karma is the thing that teaches us. It's the thing that says, ooh, yeah, no, that actually doesn't work to do it that way. Ooh, yeah, no, I recognize my power in this. I recognize my role in this. Words do not teach. Only life experience gives understanding. Only life experience. And just like for me now, that's why I say I knew when this happened. And I feared it ever since I was led to be on this healing twin flames journey. I did. Both my and my counterparts' greatest fears have come true because we were focusing on them. We were putting that energy out towards them. Excuse me. And that's the thing. I mean, this is one of the most challenging readings right here I've done with this coughing so much. Yeah. Because you see, all of this, it is helping him find his strength. It is helping him to grow stronger. So your divine masculine is reassuring you that this is for his learning and growth. To find his strength, to step into his power of who he truly is. He can't do that right now. He's not strong enough. He's not where you are, goddess. He's where he is. And even though we as twin flames very, very much mirror each other's energetic states of being and our blueprint of lessons that we have to learn from different perspectives, it is exactly what has to happen. Words don't teach. We can't just read a book and have understanding of something. We can read it and have a knowledge of it. We can take in the information, but to truly integrate the knowing, the understanding, the wisdom of those words, we must experience those words. And that's exactly what he's going through. And so patience is a requirement of this journey, period. Not just the twin flame journey, but the self-love empowerment journey in general. Right now, with what I have gone through with my counterpart, especially this past weekend, is feeling like it's all over. Because what happens when we feel like that is we're in our heads. We're playing out I had such a freaking headache for Thursday, from shortly after Thursday morning when I found out after I woke up, all the way until I had maybe a whisper of a headache yesterday, because I was overthinking in the beginning, right? That's what we do. We run all these scenarios through our minds and we make our head hurt because we're working it too much, right? We're trying to do things that we don't have power over. And so we're actually hurting ourselves. And so we create an ache in our head. And that is exactly what I had done. But then I realized that I don't have power over that. I don't have power over that. And by my trying to give power to it, by trying to control it, I'm just giving my power away and causing myself to feel more powerless and more in suffering because of what I'm giving my focus, attention, and power to. And so that's why we come all the way back around to the balance and the grounding that is so necessary, so vital for this journey. Not just your twin flame journey, but your self-love empowerment journey. And right now, look, card 1, 2, and then look, we have our card number 18, which is a 9, which is the end of the cycle. Patience is the thing that is going to get you through this. Patience. And we learn patience, we cultivate patience through practicing presence. Because right now, and this is again, as I even had recently made a video before this happened. This is such a trip. My intuition told me, my higher self told me what was coming. As I made a video talking about kind of an adjustment in my sales of my coaching business and what exactly my intention is not about coming into union with your twin, because it did for me for a while. And that's what makes it so excruciating, is all of these twin flame gurus talk about how you need to keep focusing on him. You need to keep, visualizing him and him and him and him. But that's actually attachment. And that sets you up for complete and utter devastation. Trust me, I know. And we are here to transcend ego attachment by anchoring into the knowing of our connection. I may have to make another video about ego attachment versus soul connection. I digress. Let's check really quick what the angel numbers here, in addition to what I know of them, have to say. So we had 111, which again, thoughts become things, awareness of thoughts. Excuse me. Align with your vision. I mean, still, like I said, it's not that it will never happen. It's that things have to play out in order for it to happen. Let me say that again, Goddess, because I need to hear it too. It is not that it will never happen. It's just that certain things must play out before it can happen. One more time, because third time's a charm. It is not that it will never happen or can never happen. It's just that other things need to play out before that can happen. Wow. Transform into the true you. It's time for you to come home to union within. And as I mentioned, 222 had popped up. Keep the faith, trust. Excuse me. Wow. You are on the right track. You're in the right place at the right time, in spite of what it looks like. I am where I am, and I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, because if I were supposed to be anywhere else than where I am, I would be. And see, 222 usually appears in moments of doubt, difficulties, or depression. Everything is working out. Stay focused on what you want. Wow, this angel number is really aggravating my throat, which is telling me that my ego is definitely not in the trusting space right now. Right? That those parts of me are being expressed out. And then, of course, because the 717 made itself known here, and we talk about this one a lot because it is the twin flame union number. Strong union for twin flames. You already know, trust yourself. There's more trust, right? Right here, the current and coming new beginnings and opportunities bring alignment with your soul purpose and mission. So again, all of this is happening for a reason. And here we go again. This kind of wraps up that 111. Be aware of the words you speak and how you are being. You create your reality. And I'm here to tell you right now, sister, I am looking at some of the things that I have been saying in this space, this painful space, these last 72 hours. And wow, if I've been saying some of these things all this time, well, because sometimes we think things that we're not. Again, I think it's 30 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. And if you're thinking the same thought that you can't have it, or any of these things that you end up finally speaking, and you hear yourself speak them and you're like, whoa, I've been thinking that? No wonder. It's like Abraham says, it's attraction. That's about right. And exactly again, as where RV and I are, so that's about right. It's so fucking right where we are with what both him and I have been talking about, focusing on, you know, the shadow aspects of ourselves, the fear, the doubt, as being amplified by the current state of the world. So all of our greatest fears have come into fruition, at least at this point. Now it's like, okay, I need to get completely off the subject because I sure shit don't want some of the other things that I'm afraid of happening. But that said, Goddess, it again, it's about you. It's about you holding that space for you, you recognizing that You don't have power outside of yourself. You cannot control completely your environment. You can't. But what you can control completely is you and your response to your environment and your circumstances. That's what's going to dictate how you feel and how you experience what you're experiencing. Again, I know I have had some very, very toxic, because remember my drug dealer pimp, he used to tell me I was not allowed to cry. I wasn't allowed to be expressed at all. So I know a lot of these things are clearing out such deep anger, the once hidden and buried things, parts, aspects, facets of myself within myself that were never before allowed to be expressed. And that's what happens so often, and why we experience such a sensation of loss of control when we're angry, or when we're sad, when we feel hopeless, when we feel powerless, and we just sob. And we feel that. It's because it's not just from this experience. It's connected to past experiences, and not just this life. So again, in this life, it appears as though my divine counterpart yet again picked the karmic path over me. And I was so sure that this time was going to be different. But obviously I wasn't sure enough, because there was doubt. There was fear. And admittedly, again, this last almost 2 years threw me for such a loop, including having a roommate. All of these decisions have been all of the things, or all of these things that have happened have been all of the things that I do not want. And that's what contrast is about, is it's teaching us, showing us what we don't want, so we can turn and pivot and focus on what we do. But what we so often do is we continue to focus on what we don't want, what we don't want, what we don't want. And so we line ourselves with that timeline. That is exactly what my counterpart has done. I mean, his marriage was not supposed to actually happen for another 6 months. But he caved. He kept looking at it, being, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want that, I don't want that, instead of focusing on what he did want, which I did. I wanted so much to teach him, and that's what I've definitely learned too, is that if your divine masculine isn't ready to receive the wisdom of law of attraction, of manifestation, of this twin flame connection, in the sense of how much power we have both individually and holy crap together when we come together, and even greater still collectively, then he's not ready. And this is why, again, he's not where you are. This is why you're in separation. He has knowledge to obtain, strength, power. He's not strong enough. He's not as strong as you are. He has to find that for himself, because otherwise this would negate, it would undermine the entire twin flame connection. If you did it for it, you're not his mother. And he has to learn that. That said, Goddess, I am here for you more than ever, especially again, knowing with even greater clarity what it is to experience a whole nother freaking level of, I always put out the numbers, pull them out, the ones that have appeared, but even greater clarity of what my mission is, what my purpose is. Some things are going to be updated, and it's time to, just hunker down and really be fully in my mission. Because focusing on him sure as hell is not where my power is. This is where my power is, right? Being in this space that I was led to because of him, that's where my power is. Knowing that we have to go through all of this to get to where we want to go, that is where my power is. Staying true to the mission, staying true to the journey, staying true to the path. and never giving up. I'm still going to tell our story. I'm still going to share it all because the 3D is negated by the 5D. It's kind of like, federal supersedes state kind of thing, right? Yeah. That's where we are. So that said, Goddess, I am here for you. I am definitely still I only do them a couple days a week. I do have a few sessions, 30 minutes and 75 minute are my options. I, of course, highly recommend the 75 minute because we do get kind of into it. We can do cards, coaching. Sometimes I use my cards, sometimes I don't. It just all depends on the client. And of course, source, spirit, what we're led to during the session. That said, you can book yours at iamempowered.as.me. I am, again, always here for you to remind you, just as I am doing in my own journey, that the power is in your hands. It doesn't matter what the fuck happens outside of you or what he's doing or where he is. The power to create your amazing life, to feel amazing in your life, is in your hands. Because that power has always been inside you. And namaste.